Hello, everyone, and happy fall. I can't believe we already made it this far already. The time flies when we're having fun, right? All right, so for this newsletter we're doing this month in October, I got a handful of things to run through with you. Some of them are reminders for things we've talked about in the past. Some are just enhancements for things that we're used to doing as well. And I got some homework for you and a couple tips too. So we're going to dive right in and talk about some of those things right now. So the first is related to FollowMe printing. So it's a system we've used in the past for a while, and one of the things you've noticed is that we have to use our ID badges for everything these days, right? They become our door access, they become our way to access the copiers as well. A couple notes with that. One is the reminder of how important that badge is. It is tied to you or me individually as a staff member. Do not share that badge with anybody else. Keep it on you at all times. It is as good as your username and password. And so it unlocks things that only you want to be unlocking. Don't give it out to anybody else. If you happen to lose it, please let HR know immediately, and they will be able to generate a new badge for you, which will in turn lock the lost one, and you'll be able to get access again to those resources. But related to printing, we have to use our badges to access the copiers, and some offices and other places might be used to having the ability to log in manually or to do some direct printing option. Any of those logins, individual logins for copiers, are not going to be available in the near future. The badge card is the only way that you're going to be able to access those copiers in the near future. So if you're not already used to carrying your badge around, using it to access the copiers, know that that is an expected behavior coming soon, if not already. And just get in the habit there. There's a lot of security implications for it for sure. And certainly the convenience of just being able to tap a badge to sign in is a beautiful thing too. On a related note, in our knowledge base, we have this article in our support system called Print Anything Using Chrome. And I like to just point this out anytime we're talking about printing, because it just talks simply about, hey, anywhere we are, even if we happen to not be in district, we can be in Chrome, signed in our Haverhill account, and go to print something, and FollowMe is an available option when we're there. You might need to click the See More option when you choose print and you get your choice of printers. You choose See More, you're going to see something called HPS FollowMe that has this mobility print icon for it, a little green icon that says mobility print. And basically anything you can see in Chrome, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a document, whether it's a website, any resource you'd want to send to a printer, if you print to this mobility print option wherever you are, it would be available to collect at a copier within 24 hours from there. So definitely take advantage of that and use it as you see fit. The next thing I want to talk about is Little Sis. So Little Sis is a tool we know and love. It gives us automatic rosters to Google Classroom based on what we have in SchoolBrains. It's a great tool. And many of you have already used this to set up your classes. But one of the things you might not know is that if you do not need to have those classes set up for you, or you already are all set with what you've done in Google Classroom, you can stop those emails from coming and bombarding you. So if you are in this case where you get emails from this Little Sis tool all the time, and you've just been ignoring them, you could take advantage of just going to that email that you're sent from Little Sis. It says, hey, you have rosters to accept, and you can click the link. And there's the option in here to accept your classes, but you can also decline them. And so if you are sick of getting those emails, you can either choose to accept or decline those scheduled classes, and then just move on with your day from there and clean up your email inbox. So that's a little bit of homework cleanup that if you're a rostered teacher in SchoolBrains, you've been getting emails from this Little Sis sync tool, choose to take action whether you accept or decline those classes. And of course, if you have any trouble with that, just shoot us a support ticket and we'd be happy to help you out. On the same token with Google Classroom, some of you have probably seen, and we talked about it briefly in the past, that Google Classroom has an integration with your Gradebook in SchoolBrains. And so they have a help guide available to you. If you're a teacher, you can just go into the help tab of SchoolBrains and you can see this Google Classroom integration video they have. It's a very brief thing, but it talks you basically through the process of what does it look like to connect your SchoolBrains Gradebook to a Google Classroom's Gradebook. You basically sign in with Google. You choose which Google Classroom to connect to your gradebook to, and then it walks you through your options from there in terms of pulling in assignments, in terms of refreshing grades, and all of the things you would need to know from there. So yeah, just from your SchoolBrains teacher view, just click that help button, and then on the left-hand side, look for Google Classroom integration, and they'll walk you through that step there. Okay, let's talk about email a little bit. So email is it's a fun topic. You know, it's something we use and have to use all the time. But it's one of those things that sometimes we get so fast and moving through things that we might want to take a little moment and slow down a little bit and think about the actions that we're doing. And so over the course of these last few weeks, we got a couple little things that I want to make sure we are all aware of that we can do with our Google systems and should do when we're working with our email. So the first and foremost thing that we have, and this might seem a little silly at times, but it's one of those things that when we're moving quickly through something, we don't always notice what we should. And so when we're composing an email, you get your little message that pops up here, and it gets you ready to try to address the message. And one of the things that we have noticed is that as we are rushing through things, and let's just say I'll pretend I'm emailing my boss here. I start typing in the word Russell to pull up some stuff. One of the things we notice is that we don't always pay attention to who we're picking in this list. And so rather than guessing somebody's email address, rather than just clicking on the first result or just letting it fill it in for me, I want us to be extra conscious of who we're sending emails to. Staff members and students can be available in this list when we're composing a message. And I don't want us to get into the place where we're sending important emails to somebody who shouldn't see them. And so whenever you're coming with a suggestion, before we click on it and before we just go through with composing our message, please take a moment and make note of the email address you're sending something to. Staff members, they will not have any numbers in their email address, and it'll end in @haverhill-ps.org. Any students in there will have a number in their email address, and it would have the word @student.haverhill-ps.org in their email. So might sound like a silly thing, but unfortunately, we have had many instances to start the school year where emails were sent to unintended parties. And so let's keep an eye on that as we go through. On a related note, one of the features you might not know about that Google has is in our settings. If I click our gear and do our see all settings in here, one of the things we have as the ability to do is after we send an email, we actually have the ability to undo sending a message. So inevitably something happens. We can type an email, we address it, we maybe have a spelling mistake, maybe we realize we didn't send it to the right person, or I wasn't ready to send it. After you send a message, in the corner of our Google email box, it gives us a, hey, your message has been sent, undo. And as long as you catch it in time, you can actually pull back that email message, make changes, discard it, whatever you need to do before sending it back again. But in our general settings, we do have a time frame that we can set for the undo send. You have a drop-down menu here of a few different second time ranges, anywhere from 5 all the way to 30, to give yourself that much time to make a change to something you send out. So I would just recommend look at your settings, see what your timing is from there, and then keep an eye on after you send a message. If you needed to pull it back to make those adjustments, you'll have a little bit of a buffer there to work with. And then the last tip and trick for today is still related to email, but a feature that we've had available to us ever since we switched to Google deals with emailing parents and emailing students right out of school brains. And so it's a reminder of, as a teacher, when you have your list of classes here, if you just click the name of a class, not the gradebook or not the attendance, but just the name of the class, one of the tabs you have in your view is an emails tab. And you have a quick button here that you can hit to email all students and all parents. Or you can email just a combination of this student, this parent, or individuals from there. It can be a really great way to reach out and communicate to a whole group at once in the case of the whole class, or to just grab an individual email out to a parent or a student. Okay, so that is all I have for this month. Definitely take advantage of our knowledge base for those articles that I mentioned. I can review anything from the Follow Me to the Little Sis to some of these communication ideas. Reach out via support ticket if you need. And if you aren't aware as well, we do still have appointments for training available. If you go to our iSchool website, where you have your ideas for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 different topics that you can pick from, you can go and make an appointment. And we are doing in-person appointments if you would like. You just fill out a date and time and let us know where to meet you, and we'll meet you there. Or we do still do remote appointments if that's more convenient to just grab a spot and hang out with us in here. So whether you have a specific topic to hit on, whether you need some Google training, or whether you just miss us, it is an option to book some time, and we'll be more than happy to hang out with you and help you along the way. All right, take care, enjoy fall, and we'll see you next month.